Welcome back, Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith. Good to see you all. Welcome back. Our normal show, normal time, 11 p.m. Thank you for all joining me. Pardon me, I'm sizing up my chart again back here. I had to reset everything right before the stream started. I don't know. Computer decided it was time to update. I haven't updated in a while, so it's probably due. 1 second. Almost got it. There we go. When I reset my computer, because this thing's set up to stream, everything changes. It's like a big don't tinker kind of thing, and I tinker. So anyway, hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone had a good couple days since Tuesday. We got a lot to talk about. Thank you for joining me. Crypto After Dark. Let's get it. If you haven't done so, please, man, go hit like. It costs absolutely nothing over here to hit like and be part of the show. The more likes we get, the more we can share this around social media, and the more everyone gets the good message of data and charts and everything we love to talk about. Not feelings. All data, all facts. That's how we tend to keep it. That's how we want it to stay. That's the way we like it. So, again, if you're watching over on YouTube, give us a like. I can see we got a few people over there. Only 4 likes. So everyone on YouTube, go hit like, man. It's free. Over on X, I see you guys over on X. We've already got more people on X than I thought we would have. Do me a solid, man. Go hit the like. It don't cost nothing, bro. There you go. Hit the little bell while you're there. And we got Rumble working as well. Shout out to people over on Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Shout out. Let me hit the bell for you. I dropped the camera on accident. There we go. Camera's back on. And I got to take off crypto before dark, because guess what? We not crypto before dark. We crypto after dark. And that is there. Let me figure out which one it is. I got to relabel all this stuff, man. I put all this stuff on there. And there we go. I put all this stuff on there and change stuff around a little bit. And whenever I change stuff around a little bit, it all looks a little different than it used to on my side over on OBS. So, you guys saw the thumbnail. I'm going to get to that first. Let me pull it up, because I want everyone to see me search for this just like everyone else, right? So, check it out. I'm going to type in, let's do this. Let's do Google Trends Crypto. All right, sorry if it's bright. Here we go. Google Trends. I'll go straight to this so we can all see it together. And again, I'm sorry if it's bright. My bad. This is a chart going all the way back to, let me pull it up over on YouTube, make sure I got it working for everybody. Yeah, it seems to be working. This is a chart going all the way back to 2020. It shows you way back when we were just starting off with the Rona. As you see, all through 2020, all through 2021. It kind of topped out at the top of 2021 in May. And then as you see, things kind of flattened out a little bit through 2022 with one more spike through summer. And then we kind of leveled off a little bit. Big flat spot here. Big flat spot here. And if you note, the end of 2023, right when everything broke out and started going up again, way over here on the bottom, we started getting these spikes up again. Big spikes back and forth. And if you notice, we still have not hit 2021 levels of interest. In fact, right now, crypto sentiment is at 18. 18. This is the lowest it has been since the end of the year. It's 17, where it was bottomed out. And before that, the end of the 2023 campaign, where it was 15. And sometime around in May, 16. Scraping the floor with sentiment. I did not expect things to get to this level, but Lord knows they have. So I want to talk about it with everyone, and I want to get everyone's opinion on what you think. We got 20 people watching on YouTube and 4 likes. Man, y'all go hit like, bro. It's free. Don't cost nothing. It's absolutely free dollars to go hit like. We do this every single week, 11 p.m. East Coast time. Plus, we do a 420 show on Tuesday afternoons, East Coast time as well. We want everyone to know data, know charts, know that we don't have time for BS, and we're all just here charting it together. What's causing this massive lack of sentiment? Well, I'm not really sure what the answer to that is. I cannot speak for the rest of the world. What I can do is show you data from all the other cycles. We have 2016 on the left, which we seem to be mocking pretty similarly. We have 2020 on the right, which was a little bit more aggressive at first, but tapered off a little bit at the end. And as you see, this is charted up size for size, cycle for cycle. We're still sitting over top. Let me move this one bar over like that. We're still sitting bar for bar, pretty much where we were each cycle before. Let me put that right about there. And this one needs to come over one more bar. That's the circle. Let me grab the bar right there. There we go. As you see, we were very close to the 1272 fib. And right there is what I mean, 1272. We were very close to that back then at this exact same time 8 years ago. There you go, 1272 fib. You can see it right there. We're very, very close to it again. And if you don't know what Fibonacci retracement is, I'll kind of explain it to you in a moment. But there's 2020, same thing, 1272 fib. And they're all post-halving. You see the halving line, halving line, halving line, and the end of the cycle line, which is the blue line right there. As you see, we are approaching the end of the cycle. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's where the cycle is topped out every single time, every time Bitcoin has had a halving. If you don't understand what I mean, here's a monthly side by side. All right, this is not weekly, this is monthly, and this is all four halvings that Bitcoin has ever had with Fibonacci retracement laid over top, so you can see it, you know, kind of a one-for-one type thing. That way you're not guessing and wondering. You know what I mean? Let me grab my demonstration. Same thing I've told you about many times before. Right there's our halving line, Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin halving. They're all lined up pretty identically. Fibonacci retracement goes from the previous high down to the previous low, previous high, down to the previous low, previous high to the previous low, and previous high to the previous low. All the same. I have a parabola drawn on all four of them. While they're not identical, they are quite similar, as you can see. Just like in 2012, similar fashion, we were a little bit higher up in 2012 than we are right now. We won't know until next month exactly how that comes out, but the hope is over the next couple of days, we flip this little bitty red candle that you see forming right here. I hit the wrong button. Hang on. There we go. This little red candle that for now is red, but on the monthly is also turned red. This doesn't need very much to flip back green. All right. It's actually quite a small weekly candle, and looks like it wants to give a go and try to hang on to support here. If it hangs on to support, which I think it's going to do, and it manages to get through the mud after hanging on to support, we could very well still see that 125 to 150 level, and there's still a solid possibility we get up to this 175 to 180 level by the end of the year. For those just now watching for the first time or for the first time in a long time, you can go back and watch the streams before. I've constantly been talking about how we're going to hit these levels, and I have not wavered from that but one time. And that one time was when we were way down here, and it looked like we failed trend. It looked like it was over. Luckily, we rebounded out of that, and now that we've rebounded out of that, things are right back to where they were. You can see the similar retraces that we've had. Here's what worries me. Is this a double top? Just like this was, right? Fair assessment, and I think that's still fully possible. Fully possible. The same thing happened in 2020, only it took much more time. Look how much closer. Let me drop the camera off for you. Look how much closer this thing was to the end of the cycle when it finally slowed down. And you can see that would be way up here where this green circle is. And similarly, 2016 had a blow off top. Look how far it went, right? But also, same thing. Blue line was where the road came to an end, and there was no more uppity up anymore. It kind of slowed down and tapered off. Let's go to the daily chart. If we look at the daily chart, what do we see? 821 downward cross, not exactly good for the home team. We got that downward cross right there. We playing around with the 50 daily moving average right now. We need to see that stay above the 50 daily moving average. If it does not stay above the 50 daily moving average, things could get very, very hairy, very, very quickly. If we break out of this triangle that you see I have drawn right here, it's just a big wedge, right? It's fully possible that it breaks out to the south of this wedge. if it breaks out to the south, this wedge, and loses this support line, it's trouble. It's going to likely head down here for that $100,000 level. If she breaks out and holds this level, that's okay. It can take another run back up and try to test this resistance level again, where I've got new shorts written right here where it says new shorts. It could try to test those levels next. In fact, if we go down to the lower time frames for a moment here, I'll pull up the 4 hour for you so you can kind of see it. There you go. You got this little bit of a wedge going on right here. Actually, let me draw it for you. Got a little bit of a wedge going right here. And you've got pressure just consolidating, thinking about moving, but it hasn't moved just yet. Hasn't figured out what it wants to do. Bollinger Bands are starting to squeeze in pretty hard on the 4 hour. Look, that's a very aggressive squeeze for that 4 hour Bollinger Band setup. And if you look at the daily Bollinger Bands, so far, they're just cruising sideways. You can see the top of the bands up here and the bottom of the bands is down here under this older longs label that I've got drawn. These bands are going to continue to squeeze in. If they continue to squeeze in, we're going to see some volatility come in. Here's what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see this trash again. I don't want to see this, hey, we're going sideways, move up, move down. Hey, we're going sideways, pinch fail. I want to see this thing actually hang on and move up for a change rather than just constantly fail south and sideways, because it is of note that this move right here took a really long time to play out. We keep soaking up all this time for these moves to happen, and it keeps taking away from the time in which we have ability to make our money, right? We can't make money unless we have uptrends, unless we start betting against the market. Most people don't want to bet against the market because it's too risky. You just want to buy spot. That's why we stick to mostly spot charts here. Problem, you're not going to make anything while the market's going down and sideways. Is it your chance to accumulate? Sure. Could be your chance to accumulate. But if you're like me and you don't have constant money to keep putting in the market all the time, what are you to do, right? So these are the moments where I'm sitting half in stables, half in Bitcoin, thinking about getting out, thinking about not getting out. Haven't figured out what I want to do just yet. All right, let's look at the liquidity levels that we have here. So I don't have a label on this right here, but if you look, I take this box off, you can see that red dash line. That red dash line represents the bottom of the current range. Current range bottom right there, current range top right here. Midline would be this little red box that you see I've got drawn in here, right? We haven't even thought about testing this red box yet. Just no volume down here in the mud. She continues to chop along sideways and doesn't want to make a move just yet. Thinking about it, maybe, maybe not. Still nothing, right? We need to see this thing break range and make some new highs here. If it can break range and make some new highs, take out those shorts, right? Make a start here. We can think about coming back up to this red box. If you can break through the red box, we can test the trend line. That's a lot of work just to get back to the trend line, huh? Also, we need this to happen not on the weekends. When we get weekend movements, it leaves massive gaps in the chart for the CME. What is the CME? Well, the CME is Bitcoin's only futures traded market that's legal in the US, right? There's only 4 assets on the CME: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. And Solana and XRP are only recently added. But when we get gaps in the chart, like you see right here, it becomes highly likely that we could come back and test these gaps and try to close them with candles coming down and peeking through. We don't want to see that happen. We want to see these CME gaps not exist to begin with, which means we need movement on Fridays. We need movement on Mondays. We don't need movement on the weekends. Those weekends create gaps. Those gaps take time to fill, and it soaks up valuable time for us to make money. Now, if you look at the CME, it's slightly different than the regular chart, right? You saw that we were fighting the 50-day moving average on a regular chart. Well, the CME, it's not even close. Look, 50 moving average is still running up. This makes me think we're going to chop out here and take our time and wait on this 50 moving average to catch up. That sucks, huh? I know. If you notice, the Bollinger Bands are actually peaking down a little bit here, not necessarily squeezing. This CME needs to close up here around this 1272 fib. And if you notice, it's slightly different for the Bitcoin CME than it is the regular chart, right? It's a little bit smoother on the CME charts. You're going to get a little bit less volatility on it. But if you notice here, The Bollinger Bands on the weekly, kind of similar, right? Kind of cruising sideways thinking about it. It could take its sweet time and work on pinching in little by little. And that's going to suck if it does that. It's going to take forever to work its way out, but it very well could do that and continue to soak up dominance, which is the real problem here. All right. Here's Bitcoin dominance side by side with the last market when we had that big altcoin run, last bull run. For you folks that weren't here, made a ton of money on altcoins last time. Everybody remembers that. We had an awesome time with it. I know I had an awesome time with it. But we did really, really well. Problem. That requires Bitcoin dominance to let loose of its grip and allow money to flow into other coins. Guess what? We can chart that flow of money. That's what Bitcoin dominance is. Bitcoin dominance since 2018 at the bottom did nothing but climb all the way till the middle of 2020, failed and started rolling over. Same thing happened in 2022. At the end of 22 when the bear market started, Bitcoin dominance came back and it simply has not let its grip go. It continues to climb and climb and climb. It doesn't want to cut loose. And every time I think it's going to let go, just fights back. Here's the daily chart for Bitcoin dominance. You saw it on the weekly right here. This is weekly side by side. As you see, she just doesn't want to turn loose. Here's daily. What was looking like an excellent failure and like it was going to really give up and let altcoins have some juice, immediately bounced right back like nothing happened and took back almost all the dominance that it lost. Hasn't gotten all of it, but it's came pretty darn close. It is technically a lower high. Y'all can see that right there. There's our first high. Here's our second high. We haven't gotten there yet, have we? So hope isn't entirely lost. Another problem, she's over all of the moving averages now. Just like it didn't miss a beat and didn't care, over the 50, over the 100, right back over the 821, like it never happened. Just snap your fingers, whoop, right back up. Here's a close-up of the weekly. After one red candle, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight weeks of Bitcoin dominance going up. Now, you'll note that Bitcoin's price didn't go up for 6 straight weeks. It didn't, did it? Bitcoin's price didn't go up for 6 straight weeks, but the dominance did. That means more money went into Bitcoin than it did other stuff. Simple as that. And why did that happen? Well, good question. We can dig into that a little bit here in a second. Now, let me talk to everybody for a moment before I say hey to everyone and mention the comments and turn the chat box on. For anyone to say that they knew this was going to happen, you're full of shit. You didn't know this was going to happen this way. You didn't. Now, you can say you did, but you didn't. The people who were going to say that they did took deals with companies who shield other coins. Don't get it twisted. That 100% happens. Don't be fooled. All right? If they're so big on Bitcoin, then why are they taking backdoor deals to get money in the background for coins and then push the prices up and then let it go on their followers? Answer me that. Exactly. Thank you very much. And if they do that, they never tell anyone they do it either. After that, you'll have people that say, obviously, just buy Bitcoin all the time. Again, I say to you, who has it so well that they just continuously buy and buy and buy and buy? Not I. I'm just a normal. I can't afford to constantly be buying everything all the time. I have to use the investment money that I have and try to recycle it and make more, just like most people do. Good news, I'm still up about 100%. Problem, I was up 350%. If you think you knew all that was going to happen, and you think you knew every little play was going to come right, listen, I've got a ton of stuff I would like to know also. We can talk lottery numbers. We can go on Polymarket and make some real money. All right. Unfortunately, this is just what we're stuck with. Bitcoin seems to be soaking up all the juice this run, hasn't cut loose, and I'm not really sure if it's gonna just yet. We can scroll out and look at weekly and monthly and daily as much as we want, but the thing just keeps going. And I'm going to go back to Bitcoin dominance here and talk about it some more in a moment. But I wanted to kind of explain my thought process on all this. Sentiment being as bad as it is, well, we got a genius stable coin bill coming out. When we've got companies talking about the top coins in the US will get special favors. When we've got all the big deals happening in the background. When we've got more cryptos than we've ever had before. Is this just the altcoin bubble bursting? Which altcoins will make it out of the mess? How are we supposed to know which altcoins get it out of the mess? And you're going to say, oh, it's about those teams and about working hard. Yeah, but they're also down as well. So if they were so resilient, how come they didn't hang on? Now, there are some coins that look a little different. We can talk about some of those, right? We might pull some of them up. I might have some of the guys in the chat. Do me a favor, if y'all guys would, Sir Sigma, Matt, if you guys would post a couple coins from the Assassin Screener that are the top of the long list in the chat here, I'll go through them because I don't want to pull up Discord and bog the computer down here. I've got like 9 programs running already. But we'll talk a little bit more about that, and then we'll pull up Bitcoin dominance and kind of talk about the few altcoins that do look good and how none of y'all talked about them. All right, so pull up the chat box and let's say hey to everybody. What's up, Squad? Good to see you. What's up, Sir Sigma? Cody Kensel. What's up, Busted? Good to see you. What's up, Alvin F? Alvin Alf 2. Good to see you. Is that Alvin? What's up, brother? Good to see you over on Rumble. Y'all go hit like on Rumble, by the way. We have no likes on Rumble. Go hit like. There y'all go. Go hit like over on Rumble, man. Help a brother out. Over on X, we got 150 people watching. What's up, Busted? What's up, my cousin? Good to see you guys. All right, we'll go back into some charts now. I'm going to pull Bitcoin dominance up, and I'll leave the chat box going so you guys can see your messages on there. Here's Bitcoin dominance monthly. Now, I've got a lot of lines drawn in here, and these are mostly just waypoints. All right, and you're going to see that I've got labels put on it. Just bear with me. There's a lot of lines and a lot of stuff. It's a little bit more than you need to know, but I'm trying to keep very close count on all this, and I'm trying to chart this thing out by the millimeter. More so, fibs are still here, and you can see it fighting through the 786 now on the monthly, through a monthly doji candle right there, but that's the only monthly doji candle it's done since the end of 2024. And then after that, it did nothing but have more power behind it. RSI, yes, it's overbought on the monthly. MACD, sure, selling high on the monthly. About weekly, here's the RSI on the weekly. Almost overbought again. Overbought, not quite overbought again, but almost. Look at the MACD on Bitcoin dominance. Crossed over downward. Crossed over downward. Is this the first sign that the weekly Bitcoin dominance is ready to slow down? Because look, since the beginning of 2025, all green volume bars. A couple red volume bars in 2024. Before that, green volume bars. Pretty darn impressive, right? I would agree. Problem. Look at altcoins over here. Look at altcoins. They're having a rough time. I'm going to pull up others' dominance. Here is everything outside of the top 10. Everything outside of the top 10 in crypto. How much is it down? From the high in 2022, 63%. It could continue to go down even more. Yes, it's in the golden pocket at the moment, but it could continue to fall even more. Could look for that 68 to 71% level, which would be the golden pocket on the way back down. And here's Fibonacci retracement, if you don't understand what I mean by it. Fibonacci retracement gives us the ability to mathematically look at levels in either direction and figure out where things are more likely or less likely to stop and start. All right, so we come from the bottom, because this was an uptrend, and we pull it up. Uptrend stopped up here, though. So this is about where our Fibonacci retracement will stop, which is right up here. Now we're going to use that dotted line that you see going diagonal as a trend line, and we'll pull that out here for a trend line. You see that? Excluding this one blip that we had right here, everything else falls in line with that trend line. Perfect. On the way up, wonderful. We failed the trend line right here, and then we started coming down and catching levels. We blew right through the 236, which is 23.6% down, right? Then we had 38% down. Then we had 50% down. Then you started to see we run into the numbers over here, and that kind of lets us know that we need to repull our fib or recheck things. It continued to drop, so we can pull it out a little bit farther. get a little bit better of a look here just to kind of see how far it went down. You see we failed the 50 level. Before we bounced it, then we failed it. Then we came down to that 61.8% level, right? We bounced up very aggressively. When it bounced up very aggressively, you can see we had a downtrend right here. Yeah, we had a downtrend. It broke. Cool, so we can draw fibs in the other direction now. Now it's breaking north instead of breaking south. Same thing applies through the 236 level. You got to the 382 level. 382 level bounced and popped back up to the 50. 50 bounced up to the 618, and that's where she stopped. Back to the golden pocket again. Note that's twice. All right, same thing here. We go again. Now that we had this little mini uptrend, but it failed, we need to pull a fib on it. There's a little mini uptrend going up, 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 up. And as you see, we failed it. We went right through the 236 fib, right through the 382 fib, right through the 50 fib. And where do we go down to? Once again, right near 618, the golden pocket. And this one, in fact, went a little bit farther, went all the way to 786. Ever wonder how we get our name? That's how we get our name, the 786 Assassins. And sure enough, she hit 786 and immediately broke back north again. Everyone thought we were getting an alt season right here at the end of the year, only to be absolutely smacked in the face with reality. It came right back up and caught another 786 in the upward direction. Not great. And now we fail. This is where we started. That's where we stopped. And here we are. Now, what I haven't had a chance to tell you is these are the take profit fibs down here, 1.272, 1.414, and 1.618. If you guys would, Miss Ariana or Ronan, could you please drop a couple assets from the Assassin's Watch screener and the top ones that are like the top longs and put them over here? I know Comp is one. We can do that one. And there's a couple more. I just can't remember the tickers because they're really, really odd altcoins. Anyway, the take profit fibs down here are where we typically see reversals. All right. Once you break through the one fib, which was the previous low, and you start making new lows, which is what we did here, you tend to stop around here at these take profit fibs. Now, as you can see, we're getting very, very close to about 7% dominance flat. At 7% dominance flat, it looks like that may be where we slow down finally. Problem is there's no guarantee of that. Look at this RSI, almost oversold, but not quite. Look at this MACD. Complete opposite of Bitcoin dominance, wasn't it? Bitcoin dominance is way up here. Look at altcoin dominance, way down here, just in the pits of hell, catching strays left and right. It hasn't caught up yet, and it continues to fail like crazy. Until we see this change, you're going to get a random altcoin or two to pop up and look good. The problem is you're not going to get very much slack on the other side of that. You're not going to get much slack on the other side of that. It sucks. I can't see any of that, Matt. You didn't post it in the stream chat. You posted it in regular X. You got to click on the video of the live stream, and then there's a separate chat for that. I can see you said, "Hey, girl," but that was the last thing you said. EJ says, not a matter of if, but when alts break all-time high. Real question is, will there even be a next cycle if AI achieves quantum computing and ASI? The problem is, we're talking about hypotheticals. I don't think it's a win that altcoins break all-time highs either. I don't think it's a win that quantum computing is allowed to become a level of we'll do whatever we want. I don't think the markets will allow that. I think eventually people step in and stop stuff sometimes. I'm not too much worried about things that are super hypothetical. Some altcoins will break all-time high, but a hardcore majority will not, which unfortunately leaves me stuck. And I can talk more about that now. Total 3 here. Total 3 is a measure of everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, so all altcoins. I had my expected target up here for altcoins at the 1272141 fib on the big Monster Weekly. As you see, we never quite got there. We never quite broke all-time high for altcoins. We tested it but failed it. And this is total 3, everything but Bitcoin, everything but Bitcoin and Ethereum. We still have a trend line being held here. I mean, I can't deny that it's still hanging tough and doesn't want to necessarily just give up and quit and go away. Problem is it's barely hanging on. And look, it's starting to fail Sniper's Alley again. I don't like that. Factor in the fact that we're now failing the 821 on the weekly. That's not great. Aiming back to the 50 moving average on the weekly. That's not wonderful. These are what I'm saying. Things are less than ideal for conditions for altcoins to go flying up and do great. How about some exceptions? Thank you very much, Miss Ariana, for posting some stuff in there. And yeah, I can't see anything in the X chat at all. It didn't post at all. I think you're trying to share pictures and we can't see pictures on the X chat either. It has to be words. The words. All right, so Uniswap is one. All right, here's Uniswap. So I've been watching this one pretty closely as well. We have a separate section in our Discord just for coins like Uniswap that are top 25 or better coins. All right, I've got the Ichimoku cloud here. Let me go to daily. There we go. I've got the Ichimoku cloud pulled up here. You can see that there we need 4 things for the Ichimoku cloud. We need a green cloud on the end. We got that right there where my cursor is. We need the price above the cloud. We got that right there. You can see it. Clean as day. I got to sneeze. Hang on. Sorry. Whew. That's a big sneeze. We have the price above the cloud. Clearly, you can't miss it. That gets a ding. Conversion line, blue line. Is it above the baseline, red line? It is. Good. That's 3. 3 out of 4. We like that. Last thing but not least is the lag line over the candles, and it very much is. This is a rare 4 out of 4 coin. It's one of many few coins that look like this. I don't want you to sit and think, oh man, a bunch of them look great, because they don't. Daily wise on the moving averages, you're over all the moving averages, including the 821 EMA. The only problem here is we're making a bit of a lower high. You can see it right there. We need this to continue on and push up towards the 200 to really move the needle. Uniswap looks better than most though. And here's the RSI. Kind of nominal. It went up and hit overbought, but it's gotten sideways now. Here's your MACD threatening to roll over like Bitcoin dominance. Let's see what happens. Aerodrome. There you go. Aerodrome, just in the last couple days, pushed right through that 200 moving average and closed above it. It's exactly what I wanted to see other coins do. The problem is I have such little faith in coins like these that I'm not going to buy them. I have very little faith in the altcoin market right now. And so long as they continue to let me down, like you see right here, I don't know what to do except wait until I see some bigger coins move. I don't want to take mega risks. It's just not worth it for me. I thought ICP would do this. I thought many coins would do this. And unfortunately, very few did. But this for sure took off and did a hell of a move. Straight through the 200, closed above it. I really like that look. 4 out of 4 on the cloud. Can't hate it. Looks pretty darn good. Bitcoin Cash is one. I know this one because I've been watching it closely. Also, want to talk about dinosaur coins and how they have no future? How about 4 out of 4 on the cloud? Can't deny it. How about moving averages? She's over everything. 8, 21, 50, 100 is working its way toward the 200. That'll be your last moving average cross. Then all your moving averages will be in the correct order, and she's free to chop along and work her way up almost to the target line that I drew there at the 618 golden pocket fib on the way up. I do think it's probably going to slow down a little bit there between 500 to 515, 530, somewhere around in there. We're going to slow down a little. We already touched 500 once. 530 is going to be a tough nut to crack. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it is. Give it some time, and it's probably going to work its way up, but we can't be for sure. Comp. All right. Compound. Now, weekly wise, she's getting stuck underneath the moving averages. You see that? I don't like that look. I don't like that candle being thrown underneath that weekly 50 and 100. But on the daily, look what she did. Straight to the 200 moving average, rejected, fine, but at least it got there. At least it got there. So many have not made this move. Now she slowed back down and she's underneath the 8 EMA back into the wait a minute zone, which is the level between the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA. And if you don't know how to add those indicators to your chart, just type in EMA in the indicators section up top on TradingView, which is the app that I have open TradingView here. It's very easy to use and very simple. Need TradingView and don't have it? Let me give you a referral link. I've had multiple referrals over the years, $400 worth. That's crazy. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Come on, Keith. Paste. There's a link for TradingView in the chat for everybody. Paste all 3 platforms. You needed it. You got it. Bam. There you go. Now you get to see. TradingView from my view, right? It's free to use. You can pay for it if you want. I pay for it, but you don't have to. It's free. We got Bitcoin Cash Comp, BFC. That was another one. BFC USD. Thank you, Alvin Alf. I don't know if that's the same Alvin or not. I don't know. All right, so BFC, which is Bitfrost, it made a hell of a move, but look at that rollback, all right? Through the 200 is exactly what I wanted to see, a big push up, but has essentially slowed way back down, back under the 8 EMA into the 21. Wait a minute area between the 8 and the 21. Still kind of stuck in the mud, hasn't made its mind up, hasn't really moved off just yet. Close. Problem is, this is a rare few. This is the dumbest one. BIFIF. I did BIB. BIFIF. BIFI. BIFI? BIFI. Same thing. Look. Off the 100 and the 50 and the 821, straight through the 200 and kept going. To me, this is like an optimal setup, right? Right? Okay, cool. Let's go find some more. How about ICP? Yeah, looked like it was going to do it, and then she just floundered around and gave right back up. She floundered around and gave right back up. What was a really good look for ICP, same move I wanted to see from all those altcoins. It just tries to get going. Snap your fingers. Wipe it off the board with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 candles in a row red. 10 days, 8 of them red. What is anyone supposed to do in this market? What are we supposed to do? Now, the good news is, I'll say this, she is still above the trend line, but that's literally the only thing going for it. The 200 moving average is squeezing down on this thing. And as you've seen with everything that I've shown you so far, things don't just blow through the 200. They get stuck on them and they get chopped around a little bit and trapped. They don't really like to get through and go real fast. Now it's under the moving averages on the daily. More traffic to get through. If it fails this trend line, honestly, she might be cooked. I hate seeing the market like this, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Sorry. What we haven't talked about, and I forgot to record last time. Y'all ain't going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. I forgot to hit the record button last time, and I hit a different button on the Stream Deck, so it didn't record XRP, but I got to record now. Don't worry. Here comes the clip. Yes, it's still grim. What looked good and looked like it was going to get going and move up here absolutely got bollywopped by sell pressure. I had a big fib pulled on this because it looked like she was trying to break out right here. Hey, it looks like it's, nope, reversal right back down. She did a 50 fib retrace. Notice how the candle stopped directly. Look at that. Whoops. Directly on the 50 fib. Just bang, bang, bang. Refused to get through it. Failure, failure, failure. I hate it, folks. I hate it. It looked like you're going to get something good out of this, and snap your fingers, she turns around the other way. I managed to sell my XRP off. All right, so I sold it for pretty much break even after I rebought. But ain't nothing I can do now. You notice that she's just rhythmically not doing much at all. Moving averages, you're under every single one of them. Didn't want to see that. I wanted to see this thing jump the moving averages and get up there and fight for its place. It didn't like that. It gave up pretty hard. As long as it holds the red box, still technically okay. But again, time is running out here. You can't keep doing this. This is a very, very threatening pattern. We've seen this pattern play out a lot, okay? We call that the Bart Simpson. It's what it looks like it's going to do again. It looks like it's going to Bart Simpson out back to around the $2 flat level, and then we'll see. Can it break out from the $2 flat level? I mean, maybe. And even if it does break out from that $2 flat level, we're going to see a move up, a back test, and then a go, even if we get that move up. If we don't get that move up, we're going to roll flat, and we're going to keep failing back. Now, I don't think that's the move. I think we're probably going to hang on to the square somewhere in here around $2-ish. As you see, we've had a lot of attempts to fail that level, and it hasn't. Makes me think it wants to hang on. And this also looks like previous price action, okay? I'm going to put this on the split screen for you here, and I'm going to give you a little bit of different looks. I go XRP USD. And we'll go out to the weekly here so you can kind of see what I'm saying. All right, this is the exact same look that it did from June 17. See that? From June 17 all the way through 2020 before it made a move up. June 17 all the way through 2020 before it made a move up. It's very, very similar price action, honestly. You had your pop here and your pop here, your pop here and your pop here. Then you had a couple more moves. Then you had a couple more moves. Then you had your run up and drop down. Then you had your run up and drop down. Then you kind of started to level off and moved up. Then you kind of started to level off and move up. A little bit of sideways, a little bit of sideways. What are we going to get next? We're going to get this move up? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and count points like some other people would do and go, oh, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm not going to do that. I think that's a little bit hocus pocus and horse shit. Point is, we've seen this before. Oh, wait, just that time? No. Scroll back here to an older time. This is the 2014, all the way through 2017 move. It's pretty much identical to what you see here. Very, very similar. Not the same, but very, very similar. The price action continues to repeat on this. The problem is it takes a long time to play out, and it could take months for this thing to do anything. I hate to see that, but it is what it is. Baby steps. If it doesn't hold on to this $2 level, we could be in trouble. And I think it may end up going back to that level, and I'll look to buy lower, especially if that's what it wants to give me. An oversold condition in here anywhere would be a trigger for me to buy. But right now, the RSI is very, very nominal. This MACD is pretty much flat. It's in the red, but it's pretty much flat. So there's not much there that's moving the needle for me to make a big decision on buying any for now. I'll hold off and wait. Sorry. What's up, everybody on Twitter? 200 people watching over on X. Shout out to everybody over there on X watching. Shout out to people on Rumble watching, bro. I appreciate it over there. That's the alternative streaming app that we have. It took me a while to get it working again. It doesn't like me doing the pre-streams on Rumble. If I just start a stream, it works. But if I do a pre-stream where it's scheduled, bro, she doesn't like that. She's very, very temperamental. And then obviously YouTube, we're running. I don't really like streaming on YouTube, but unfortunately the sentiment is nil. We talked about at the beginning. The sentiment is nil. And I don't want that to continue. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So unfortunately we're just stuck kind of waiting on that shit. I wanted to pull up, if I could, Uniswap.d. Yeah, there we go. Market cap dominance for Uniswap. Look at this. So slowly but surely, Uniswap's trying to fight back and gain some market share. Look at how hard the dominance fell off for Uniswap since 2021. If you know, it really just hasn't broken out at all. It's still kind of playing around and doing its thing. Needs to get going, but hasn't. So even though the chart looks good on the daily, beware, this dominance is still falling off really, 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 really toughly. I've got a little bit of a theory, but I'll talk to everybody about it in the Zoom after this. I think maybe things may be changing and we may get a different cycle here and there, but I have no evidence for that. So I like to kind of bounce ideas off of other people in our Discord rather than it just be all me. I'll talk about that when we get to the Zoom, but I think there's a possibility some other stuff could be going on. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole with that, though. You know what I mean? I want to kind of try to keep it real and not disappear into the weeds. How about Binance Coin? Binance Coin held up pretty well amongst a lot of coins. Binance ran all the way up here to the all-time high level, played around with breaking it, and now it's kind of leveled off again. You've gotten to another big fib cycle line here, which are rhythmic lines in the we're approaching it now. They're rhythmic lines from horizontal instead of vertical. You saw me do Fibonacci retracement vertically a minute ago. This is horizontally. It also helps create a Gann fan. A Gann grid. So moving averages, unfortunately, you've started to fall underneath them. You failed the 50 and the 200 right there. You didn't want to see that happen. Not great. You got the 100 moving average way down there. The 821 pressing down. Not ideal. Not ideal. This was one of the better looking ones. Even it's starting to get weak again. You're inside the cloud. That's not great. You are still green on the end. That's one. Lag line is under the candles. Nope. Candles are inside the cloud. Nope. Blue line under red line. That's conversion line under base. Nope. Not good. Not good. You needed to see improvement and you didn't get it. Unfortunately, folks, that ain't going to cut it. We need more. Ethereum. This is extremely spooky. You see the trend line that I've got drawn here for Ethereum. Coming from the bottom and working its way up. Warning. We're on the wrong side of that now. I'm seriously considering getting rid of the rest of my Ethereum, and the only reason I have it is because we're still over the 50 moving average. We are pressing down that 821 EMA. I don't like that. I'd like to see that reverse and pop back up and get back over here. But the problem is, not great. She doesn't look like she wants to do that. RSI continues to trend downward and not want to break north. It's now nominal in between 40 and 50. MACD, look at all of these red volume bars in a row. That's 4, 5, 6, 10, 13, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28 out of 29 days red volume. 28 out of 29 days red volume. That's insane, everyone. What is going on? What is going on? That's wild to me. Shout out to Miss Ariana, EJ. I appreciate y'all being on here, brother. Banana Republic, Caspa, look at that. FC, good to see you, brother. Fantastic, he said. Thank you, sir. Let's see what else we got. All right. Yeah, he said I should have been more specific. Not all alts will break. Some will. I kind of agree with that. Some will, some won't. You know what I mean? But anyway, I one little tiny green blip in here ain't going to get it. We need so much more. You would think that sell pressure would break, but it hasn't. And until it does, I'm stuck waiting. If it breaks that 50 moving average, I'm out of my Ethereum as well, and I'll be in only Bitcoin. The only positions that I have right now are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else has got sold off. Caspa. Oh. Type, Keith. What in the world are you doing? All right. Let's do CAS. Yeah, CAS USD looks terrible. Look at that. She's failed after making that big abrupt run up. She's failed every single moving average. She's under the 8. She's under the 21. Is she oversold yet? Nope. She's still not oversold. This thing could come down here and take another stab in the red if it really, really wants to get ugly on you. MACD, same as Ethereum. Look at all those red. 30 out of 30. It's probably going to be 29 out of 29. I'm sorry. 29 straight days of red volume. That's brutal. If we pull a fib on this, same as the others, go all the way to the top. Check the amount of down in measurements. 236 failed. 382 straight through it to the 50, back tested the 382, then failed the 50, then back tested the 50, then down in the golden pocket. This thing looks to be aiming for Sniper's Alley down here. We could put some pivots on here and see. Yeah, we got S2 at 66 cents. So between 63 and 66 makes sense. Then maybe we can get some work back up. But for now, she's in the pits of hell. It's not great. It's not great. A lot of improvement needed there for Kaspa. One of the top coins that was really popping back a while ago and has really fell off aggressively. Unfortunately, it's part of the breaks. It's not the only one, and we've seen a ton more examples of that. Shout out to X, by the way. Over 200 people watching over on X. All right. Let's pull up a couple more. Chainlink. All right, here's Chainlink. So unfortunately, similar story on Chainlink as some others. I'll pull the fib on it here from the bottom to the top. All right, same story that you got with the others. Big aggressive fail, back test of moving out of fib lines, and then right back again under the 50 fib. You're playing around with the golden pocket right now. Still not oversold. It could have more down in it before up. That's brutal. Look at this MACD, just straight up, nearly giving up, pointing down very aggressively. Not what you want to see at all. This is the difference between me and whatever else you may have ever seen, folks. I'm going to give it to you straight and be real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If it looks like shit, I'm going to say it looks like shit. And I'm not going away. I'm going to keep doing this, all right? I get frustrated at times, and I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to deal with this stuff. Like I've said, the fun is gone from me for this. So I'm going to be here regardless, even if it continues to be ugly. That's just the way it is, all right? I'm going to keep fighting. I don't give up easy, bro. But nonetheless, it looks like Link wants to come down and test that Sniper's Alley level. If it gets down there, that's 1150. That's brutal. I hope it doesn't happen. Hoping it stays above the golden pocket. And hoping that hammer candle that it threw the other day shows out and does some work. But maybe not. For now, it's a tough spot. What's up, crew chief? Late is better than never, my brother. All right. Here's our daily. Oh, everybody keeps shitting on DAG. I'm not shitting on DAG. I'm keeping it real with what I've got on the chart. All right. So here we go. DAG weekly. Let's start with that. What was hanging on to the trend line is threatening to fail the trend line as we speak. All right, moving averages, you're under all of them. You're under the 8 EMA, the 21 EMA, the 50, and the 100 moving average. 200 moving average sweeping down very aggressively for all the people who hated on me. Damn it. Come on, guy. You've got to realize by now I'm on your team, and I'm not over here rooting for you to fail. I'm over here rooting for you to win. I want you to take your profits and move them along. And this is unfortunately not the place to have them right now. Why? Because it continues to make new lows over and over again under all the daily moving averages. Nothing good there. How about the Ichimoku cloud? 4 out of 4. No, that ain't going to get it. That's the lag line under the candles. That's a red cloud on the end. That's a conversion line underneath the baseline. That's not good. And the price is way under the cloud. Couldn't be more of a no. How about the RSI? Ooh, it's nominal at the moment. 36 is below 40, so you are taking more of a chance of this thing going oversold than you are breaking out north. She's got big bearish convergence. Price rolling over with strength falling as well. That's bearish convergence. How about your MACD? Whew. Not great. I know, man. I'm sorry, y'all. Wish it wasn't that way, but it is what it is, man. I can't help you. Pivot lines. Now, you are playing around with the S2 pivot, so there's a chance that over the next couple of days she gets back above this pivot and starts to work back up to 0.037. But the problem is you've got to get back above 0.037 as well, and now it's resistance. The real headache here, is going to be getting back over the 4-cent level. That 4-cent level is going to play hell. There's a ton of resistance there. Rhythmically speaking, doesn't matter whether you try to use Gann math, Fibonacci math, or any other math. For now, this one looks bad. And it's not me shitting on it. That's me being honest with you. when all your favorite influencers will continue to lie to you. When they say something like, I can feel it. Something big is coming. By the way, that's not what I think when you say that. Sorry. What I think immediately is weird stuff, funny stuff. I immediately go to the adult jokes. Sadly, what that means for the chart is it's not great. It's not great. Things may improve, but like I said, 4 cents going to be really hard to break. You got to get through 4 cents before you can even think about testing 6.5 or 9 cents. And don't even talk to me about all-time highs or any of that. You have so many speed bumps to cross before you ever even get close. So that was an hour. That hour went by actually pretty fast and better than I thought it was going to go. Not going to lie. Market's in such a grim spot, man. Since the markets is in such a grim spot, it's great that we get to get on here and talk about it like adults, though. You know what I mean? I really like the fact that y'all continue to show up. It means the world to me. You know, I never thought we would have as many people as we have on here, and I've said that before. I never thought we'd have 10,000 people or 16,000 people or 20,000 people or 30,000 people, because that's about how many we've got now, and that's pretty darn insane. You know what I mean? The fact that 3 basketball arenas could be watching me at one given time freaks me out, honestly. But at the same time, that's not happening. I'm getting about 17% of that watching, and apparently that's about the average. I want sentiment to come up. So the only thing I can think is share the video around, share this out on social media, let people know. I post clips of all this stuff. Share the clips around when they come out tomorrow. Whenever you see me post them tomorrow morning, I'll have clips with thumbnails for everyone to see, right? Update videos for each one of those things that I just recorded and talked about. You'll see me repost them and share them around. Hey man, share it around and do the best we can to try to improve the sentiment. Things should be a lot better than they are right now. And I know things seem pretty bleak, but that's exactly about the time you need to start figuring out where you want to buy when things are about the worst. All right. Thank you all for being here. It means the world to me. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. It means a ton. All right. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. And like I always say, if anybody else told you today, Keith will tell you today. Keith loves you. All right. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be good. Sky's the limit. I'll see y'all next stream, Tuesday, 4:20. See y'all there. Zoom now after this over in the Discord. Shout out to y'all. We'll see y'all. Be good. I'm out. Peace.